Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomat YouTube channel, everybody. Today we have a very exciting video for you. We are going to discuss the 3 companies that are on Lanny's September dividend stock watch list.
Smash that subscribe button. Give Bert and I a thumbs up. We're going to talk to you about not 1, not 2, but 3 dividend stocks to watch this upcoming month of September 2020.
So everyone, in this video, we always work hard. We are tirelessly looking for undervalued dividend stocks to invest in. But I'll tell you what, finding undervalued dividend stocks in this current market is not very easy.
Stock market, again, is setting all-time highs. Every day over this past week of August 24th, every single close day, the S&P 500 set a record.
Yeah, I think the tweet you had, Lanny, was hilarious. It was, this week we've had 4 stock market, and this was the Thursday evening. It was incredible to see.
So if you're out there as an investor and you're curious on what stocks to invest in an extremely higher price market, leave it to Bert and I to find you undervalued dividend stocks.
Yeah, we're always digging. We're always going to have our shovels in our hand. We are going to do whatever it takes to find that undervalued dividend growth stock.
Bert's a gold digger, so he's constantly trying to find who else he can match up with. I know his wife's always upset about being the gold digger.
It is what it is.
Oh, it's what it is.
Hey, I mean, you got to do what you have to do to find that undervalued investment. So this is why we're excited to bring this watch list towards you, because Lanny put in a ton of work to find 3 very strong dividend growth stocks.
As always, we run each dividend stock through the Dividend Diplomat stock screener to try to find, the undervalued dividend stock metrics in order for them to even be on the stock watch list.
Yeah, we're not just buying overvalued stocks for the sake to just buy a stock. That would be dumb. So that's why we run it through our stock screener. We want to make sure we're finding the values out there. We just keep digging that deep for them.
At least Bert's pretty honest. I mean, again, we're all on this journey to financial freedom. And with each dividend stock purchase, it continues to add to your forward dividend income, which you can use that passive form of income to help cover your monthly expenses.
That is the name of the game. It's all about getting towards financial freedom and reaching that coveted end zone.
It's time to play the game. And are you playing?
Well, Lanny just played the game, and this is where he found those 3 stocks. So Lanny, let's kick it off. Who is number 1 on your dividend stock watch list?
Number 1 on the dividend stock watch list, it's actually one that we haven't really talked about too much, but it's Walgreens Boots Alliance. And I think I remember on our 5 dividend stocks that yield over 4%, I told you about this lovely company that's on the corner of Happy and in your dividend stock portfolio.
Ba-doom.
Oh man, I know, bad joke, right? But Walgreens, I mean, they are probably one of the lower performing, if not one of the poorer performing stocks from a price standpoint, but yet they increased their dividend just a few weeks ago by a few percent, continuing their dividend aristocrat status, which you have to have of 25 plus consecutive years of dividend increases. So one would have thought with that positivity, plus being in the healthcare and pharmaceutical area, that they would have performed better, but actually their stock price has continued to decline after the dividend increase announcement.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating, because it's just with everything and how the rest of the market's trending and some of the news that Lanny just highlighted, their involvement in helping deliver some of these quick responses to the pandemic, and the fact they're a major player in this industry, it also caught me by surprise, and I can easily see why this company is on Lanny's dividend stock watch list.
And obviously they're big competitor CVS, so you kind of got the 2 retail pharmacy giants right there going at each other. But to actually go through the dividend stock metrics of Walgreens Boots Alliance, again, ticker symbol WBA, we could start with the price to earnings ratio. Now, as we know, that's just the share price over what we like to look at as the forward earnings projection. And the results are pretty incredible, Bert.
Yeah, tell me, what is it?
Well, first, what do you see as the forward earnings projection right now, Bert?
The forward earnings for them, I am seeing a analyst expected earnings of $5.30 per share.
Right, so looking at the stock price, which is still under $40, the price to earnings ratio is under 8.
Man, that's insane. Just to take a step back for a second, Lanny just said the number 8. The market's currently trading close to 30 times based on how overvalued this market is. And historically, the S&P 500 is in that 18 to 20 range. So think about that. Think of how much lower of a discount that is compared to the broader market.
Typically you don't see a price to earnings this low, but you currently are seeing that with Walgreens, and analysts still are seeing growth and better performance for Walgreens in 2021 and going forward. So as a dividend investor, we definitely like to see buying something on sale versus something that's not on sale.
Yeah, it's not as if they're not going to earn anything. They're projecting they're going to earn $5.30 per share.
Right. And then sliding into the second Dividend Diplomat stock screener metric is the dividend payout ratio. As Bert's described in many of his videos and blog articles, you always look for that perfect payout ratio, something in between that 40 and 60%. Walgreens actually is pretty surprising because they pay out, approximately $1.87 in dividends per year, Bert?
That's what I'm seeing.
So when you take that over that $5.30 earnings projection, what payout ratio do you get?
Yeah, it gives us about a 35% payout ratio, which is just below that perfect payout ratio. And even taking out the perfect payout ratio, we used a 60% threshold in our stock screener. That's way below the 60%.
So being at around 35%, what does that mean, Bert?
That means the company is still investing a very nice amount of their earnings back into the company to help them grow, but they're also paying dividend investors a nice dividend as well. And then on top of that, they have plenty of room to continue growing that dividend as well. They are not I would not be concerned about their dividend safety based on that 35% mark.
The dividend looks safe at only 35% payout ratio, 65% roughly of earnings going back into the business. Not only is the dividend safe, but with that low of a payout ratio, they have considerable amount of room to continue to grow that dividend.
And that's their dividend aristocrat. We love to see their ability to keep that dividend aristocrat status going year after year.
Though this was a combined entity, looking at Walgreens' long track record, as we look at that third Dividend Diplomat stock screener metric of dividend growth, Walgreens has increased their dividend for over 30 plus years. That's 30 plus years of growing that income source.
Yeah, that's insane. I can't re-emphasize what Lanny's saying enough. It's great to see some of these metrics as they go through our stock screen.
Now, their 5-year average growth rate is in the double digits, but I would actually anticipate something in the lower to single digits, maybe 2 to 5% on a go-forward basis.
Yeah, I think that's very fair, especially in this current environment we're in, where dividend companies that are increasing their dividend, you see it significantly below their history for good reason.
And as a bonus item I'd like to mention, as of the close of business on August 28th, Walgreens continues to almost yield 5%.
Insane.
It is insane. So what does that mean? So for every $100 you invest, you're almost getting $5. Currently, you would get around $4 and 80 cents. So that's a higher yielding dividend aristocrat, especially one that just increased their dividend.
So let me recap this here with Walgreens quickly. They're trading significantly below the market. They have a very strong payout ratio with plenty of room to continue growing their dividend. They are a dividend aristocrat. They just announced a dividend increase and they're yielding almost 5%.
Yeah. It's hard not to, when that little picture when that girl's walking by and a guy does this, it's hard, not to look at Walgreens when that stock comes across the screen.
I will raise the stakes. I'm going to tell you that we're filming this, Lanny said, August 28th. With the August 20th prices, I will be buying on August 31st at these current metrics. So I'm going to put our money where our mouth is.
You heard it here first.
Breaking news.
Okay. Well, Bert, you want to take away on the second dividend stock to buy right here for September 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a company that I have been talking about a lot as well lately. It is Cisco Systems, ticker symbol CSCO. I've been buying this stock up in very small over the last 3 weeks as well. My wife and I now have a combined position of probably over 30 plus shares each, and we're going to continue growing it as long as it stays at these levels. So just to recap who Cisco is, they're the major player in the network security. They offer WebEx services. They they have really taken off and become a critical part for a lot of companies during the pandemic who have moved their workforces from the traditional office place into a home office. They're providing a huge service for all of these companies.
So Bert, looking at the Dividend Diplomat stock screener metrics, you want to take us through the price to earnings ratio?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, as Lanny said, we always use that average analyst estimates. We're seeing about $3.33 here for Cisco Systems. They're currently trading just above 42 a share. They're in that 42 to 42 and a half share range. At least that's where I've been seeing them in the last week. So that gives us a price to earnings ratio of about 12.6, so well under 13. It's not Walgreens. It's not that different industry, different sector, but still.
Eat that, Microsoft. Come on, Zoom, bring it.
Yeah.
Just bring it.
But still, I mean, think about those market numbers I mentioned earlier. The market's at 30x. Historically, markets at 18 to 20x. 13 and below is still significantly below that market PE ratio.
Yeah, and again, kind of below their competitors in that from this virtual space and sometimes even from the network space of Microsoft and Zoom.
Yeah,
those are great companies, but from a dividend investor standpoint, it's hard not to also look at Cisco right now. For
sure. And let's go into the second metric here with the dividend payout ratio. Their annual dividend's $1.44 per share. Using that $3.33 forward earnings, they have a dividend payout ratio of 43%, right at the lower end of that perfect payout ratio that we discussed there. So that's a nice big check mark right here for Cisco. As again,
perfect payout ratio, baby.
Yeah, to say it like how Lanny did earlier, they're reinvesting 7% of their earnings. They're paying out 43% to the company, and they still continue to grow that dividend. It is perfect.
Yeah. Now the third metric of dividend growth. Obviously, disclaimer: they are not a dividend aristocrat, but
they are working tirelessly to continue increasing their dividend going forward. They've increased it for now 9 consecutive years, and remember, you have to start the streak somewhere, everybody. You don't just pop out and become a dividend aristocrat when you form the company and have that IPO. You need to show that you can grow that dividend for 25 consecutive years, and Cisco is on their way to earning that title.
Hey, Bert, didn't they also increase their dividend during the pandemic already?
That they did. So they had a very nice 3%-ish dividend increase. So again, we're happy to see dividend growth in this environment of dividend cuts. So to me, Cisco checks this mark despite the fact they're not a dividend aristocrat. I'm very happy with their dividend growth over the years as well.
And then as the bonus little metric here, the S&P 500 is currently yielding around the 1.7 to 1.8%. Well, if you want double that yield, Cisco is your guy because they yield around 3.4%.
Yeah, which to me, when I always have to take a step back and look at Cisco and do a double take just to make sure that dividend yield is correct, because in my mind that's very high for a technology company, especially one like Cisco. And so, Lanny, I think we've said enough about Cisco. We've talked about them a lot over our last few videos. Let's hit dividend stock number 3 on your watch list.
You got it, Bert. For the third dividend stock we'd like to talk to you about, we got to go back to the list of our top 5 foundation stocks for your portfolio. And this is with our good old friend Thomas Edison's company, Consolidated Edison, ticker symbol ED. They are back on the list, and it's kind of hard to argue how they can't be. I mean, if those that don't know who Con Ed is, or Ed is, they're a utility company, and we always like to at least say that everybody uses electricity. And again, I'm going to drop it again. Yes, I'm talking to you, all you Tesla owners who are charging up your cars, as well as anything that you charge. Your phone, your computer, your headphones, your I don't even know. Any device right now almost takes a charge. Your toothbrush. I mean, pretty soon you're going to be charging your coffee. You're going to be charging your brain.
Well, people do have the little heating pads that you plug in to keep your coffee cup mug warm.
Exactly. So, again, they're in an industry that continually brings consistent cash flow from a business model standpoint. And again, it's pretty easy to understand.
Yeah.
But the question is how is Con Ed on the Dividend Diplomat stocks to buy for September 2020? Well, it's pretty easy. They've kind of taken a beating in the market.
Yep.
They've traded anywhere in that $69 to $72 range. Currently with analysts, there's around 17 analysts that are projecting earnings just below $5 at $4.52. So the price to earnings ratio is significantly below the 29 to 30 from the S&P 500, and they're currently trading at around 15 to 16 times earnings.
Yeah, so they're still at a discount to the market. It may not be the Walgreens, it may not be the Cisco discounts, but it's still a discount nonetheless. And I think it's fascinating with Consolidated Edison stock price as well. It just keeps hovering in this range. I'll buy a couple shares here and there when I'm looking where to put my cash on a day in a green market. I'll just see, oh, Con Ed at 71, buy one share. Con Ed at 72.20, buy a share. It's just, to me, once it hits it's in that perfect range where I'll just keep picking up when I don't know what to do with other money.
I mean, it's almost like a smaller or funnier way of a savings account. It's like a fixed income investment at this point, because you're going to get between a 4% to 5% yield. We'll get to the yield in a little bit, but the price isn't going to fluctuate that much because it's in the utility arena. But if you have cash on the sidelines, it's like you might as well start inching into Con Ed a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, we'll get to the other part later too, but you also have that dividend growth as well, which as we continue to see with Ally, your savings account, they just keep going down and down and down, as now we are getting that 0.8% on the savings account.
To go into the metric number 2 of the dividend payout ratio, with Con Ed, currently paying out just under $4 in dividends per share, and with analysts projecting, what we had stated earlier, the payout ratio is a little bit higher than what we like to see. It's actually over the 60% payout ratio, but that's common in the utility arena, and it's pretty much not unusual for Con Ed to have a higher dividend payout ratio, especially because they've consistently increase their dividend year after year, being a dividend aristocrat.
Perfect. And to me, it's not like we're seeing a payout ratio of 95% here. We're talking 68%. So there's still plenty of room between that dividend and their earnings as well. We're not running for the hills with them.
Right.
The metric, the dividend growth, we've covered it a lot. Con Ed's that dividend aristocrat. We know they have the history, so we don't need to belabor that point anymore. But their dividend growth is in that 2 to 4% annually dividend growth. So again, which we keep saying, they slowly increase that dividend over time, and you can count on that as they continue increasing their dividend over the years.
As an investor, you want your income to grow. You wouldn't buy a dividend stock just to keep your income the exact same, especially if you're on a journey to financial freedom. I want my income to grow. I don't know about you, Bert.
Nope. I'm kidding. Yeah, of course I want my income to grow.
This guy loves dividend cuts over here.
It's my favorite.
No, I'm kidding.
Haircuts, dividend cuts, they all go together.
But with Con Ed, you're going to get that dividend increase. They've been doing this for over 40 plus years.
Yeah, longer than both of us have been alive.
Yeah. Gosh, that's wild, actually. So again, Con Ed is a very solid, consistent company. They're yielding over 4.3% at the time of this recording.
Yep.
I mean, again, they're trading under $71 per share. So if you want a yield better than what you're getting in your savings account, a yield better than what you would get in the S&P 500, consistent dividend growth, albeit it's probably in the low 3 to 5% range, but a business you can understand and a business that people use every day, Con Ed couldn't be more of a potential answer for you.
Perfect. I have nothing more to really say about Con Ed. It's easy to see why they've slid into the 3rd spot on your watch list.
So we just brought to you 3 dividend growth stocks to look and to buy for September 2020. If you didn't, remember from the very beginning of this video, that's Walgreens Boots Alliance, Cisco Systems, and Consolidated Edison.
Yeah, as always, we love the discussion too as well. So if you like these 3 stocks, please let us know in the comments section. If you're not watching any of these stocks, please let us know why. We'd love to hear why you think Walgreens, Cisco, or Consolidated Edison don't deserve a spot on our watch list. We enjoy the back and forth and the conversation just as much as anyone.
Yeah, I mean, you should hear Bert and I's discussion, on dividend stocks, toppings for the pizza, the beer that we're about to drink, the coffee we're about to pour.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to hear your discussions on what stocks you're looking at to buy potentially this upcoming month of September 2020.
Yeah.
And again, this is Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.